to right and left takes to
Lockstone.
Lockstone.
Oikein erityisellä
The medium right one opens down.
izquierda rápido, como que la izquierda mucho y mucho ras.
Welcome to the final day of the Network Q Rally of Great Britain, and you're looking at potentially England's first ever World Rally champion, Richard Burns. It's a wet and windy day here in South Wales, quite trying for all involved, particularly the Subaru World Rally team. The focus today is firmly on Richard Burns and his quest for his maiden World Rally title. All the 30-year-old Englishman needs to do in this rally is remain in the top 4, and he will deny Colin McRae his second World Championship. Burns' task of scoring enough points in this final rally of the year was made considerably easier by the events of the opening 2 days. Mark James picks up the action from Friday and Saturday.
The very first forestry stage on Friday morning saw the end of Tommy Mackinnon's championship challenge. Broken suspension forcing the 4 times world champion to retire. Next to go out was championship leader and rally leader Colin McRae, just 2 stages later.
5 left plus, cut, into 6.
The accident meant McRae would have no say in the championship placings. It was now all down to Richard Burns. His finishing position would hold the key to who would win the driver's title. Things were, however, put into perspective when Carlos Sainz, the other championship contender, hit a crowd of spectators on yesterday's breakfast stage, injuring 13 of them, 4 seriously.
As you know, in stage number, don't remember which one, we have gone off the road, and unfortunately we have hit some spectators or marshals. I'm not so sure about it, which as we know now, there were few children involved. The accident came after a crest. It was breaking point, which it was quite slippery. Yes, we went straight, couldn't stop the car, and we hit the car and we hit the spectators, or marshal, I think was. I'm not so sure what was exactly there. We realized immediately it was some injury, so we pressed the SOS button. We advised our team, and the only thing I can tell you is that the next 4 hours was not very nice until we realized nothing serious happened. So I'm really happy that the people involved are not very bad injured, and I feel sorry about that.
Just an extraordinary opening 2 legs that left everyone here at the rally simply amazed. But that was legs 1 and 2, and this is the all-important 3rd and final leg. And coming into today's action, this is what the top 6 looked like. Peugeot's Marcus Gronholm has been at the top of this rally almost since the beginning. Richard Burns 2nd, Robin Perra 3rd, and the 2 Works Hyundais sandwiching Armin Schwartz's Skoda. Just 4 stages stand between the drivers and the conclusion of this World Rally year. So let's get to it. Here's Mark James and Tiff Needell with the opening 2 stages.
The first of those 4 stages was Riola, which would also be the 3rd stage of the day. 27 kilometres soaked by heavy rain faced Richard Burns, with the Englishman's biggest enemy now the horrendous Welsh weather. And he slithered through, a cautious 5th fastest. 1 down, 3 to go.
Slight left and slight right 80. Left max 20 flat left plus in, 80 braking, crest 20 slow K left. To K left minus tights, definitely don't cut. And K left, 30. Flat right, to flat right, 70.
The Peugeots once again packed the top of the leaderboard, but for a change it was Harry Rovanperä at the top of the timesheets, and he swept past Burns into 2nd overall. Rally leader Marcus Gronholm was second fastest, the Finn comfortably heading towards his third win of the year, but set to concede his #1 plate to his new teammate for 2002. Didier Auriol was third fastest as the Frenchman chases 6th place and one more championship point in his last rally for Peugeot. The man in that 6th spot is Kenneth Eriksson, who was 8th fastest, some 22 seconds slower, and the gap between the two was now only 26 seconds. The Swede's teammate Alistair McRae continued his lonely run, now in 4th place, which would be a fantastic result on his last rally for Hyundai, but he was 7th fastest, slowed by a windscreen wiper that went haywire.
You crashed into K-Ride Plus times.
The Hyundai's headlights were cutting their way through the gloom, but they were of little help when Alistair could barely see through the screen.
Cut 70, left tires to easy minus. Cut. Here, left tires to easy minus. Okay, and it's long.
And there was one more stage to go before the crew could reach service. Armin Schwartz continued an impressive run in his last drive for Skoda and was 4th fastest, beating Richard Burns in the process, and he was now over 30 seconds ahead of Eriksson in 5th. Bruno Thierry remained 8th in the 2nd Skoda. With Toshi Arai 10th in the 2nd surviving Works Subaru. Behind the World Rally cars, a tight 3-way fight for the Production Cup was being led by the Mitsubishi of Peruvian Ramon Ferreros. But Britain's David Higgins Subaru was fastest through Riola and was now just 19.5 seconds behind in 2nd, with Sweden's Kenneth Bäcklund in another Mitsubishi 16.5 seconds behind him in 3rd. Britain's Niall McShay had been 2nd in the Super 1600 class overnight in his Citroën, but Italian Andrea Dalla Villa flew through the stage in his Fiat to move 12 seconds ahead of him. Both, though, were nearly 3 minutes behind French star Sébastien Loeb, who leads the class and lies 15th overall in his Citroën. Next year, he joins the big boys in a World Rally car.
Stage 15 was a rerun of the stage which saw Colin McRae's retirement on leg 1, the 26.5-kilometre thrash through the Rhondda forest. This time, though, the dry but cold weather of Friday had been replaced by heavy rain and a thick mist. It was that weather which was causing Alistair McRae so many problems, but a spot of do-it-yourself after the previous stage may have helped the situation. McRae and his co-driver David Senior attached some spare wire carried on board the car to the broken windscreen wiper blade. It wasn't pretty, but it was better than nothing. As the Hyundai splashed through the mud, the temporary repair looked to be working, David Senior having to operate the wiper by hand in between reading the pace notes. After losing out to Harry Rovanperä on the previous stage, Marcus Gronholm struck back, setting the fastest time. You'd have thought the outgoing world champion would have eased up a little, but no. He and Timo Rautiainen were nearly 11 seconds faster than their colleagues.
Huomio, Mase hidas kirraa vettä sisällä. Maseri jouhee ja oikea eri helppo 100. Oikea eri -4 ja vasen nopea.
Rovanperä and Risto Pietalainen were second fastest, but behind them people had indeed begun to back off. Richard Burns and Robert Reid were a full 20 seconds slower than Gronholm, but no problems were reported, so it was clear that the pair were driving with the championship in mind. Just 2 stages now remained. Armin Schwartz, like Burns, had eased off. He and Manfred Heimer still took 30 seconds off Alistair McRae, but the wipers would be changed at service, so the Scotsman's 4th place still looked secure. The battle for 6th place swung back in favour of Kenneth Eriksson. The Swede was nearly 34 seconds faster through Rhondda than Didier Auriol, who was quoted as saying that since this was probably his final visit to Wales, he'd slowed down to enjoy a last look at the scenery, not that he could see that much of it. In the Super 1600, Sebastian Loeb continued to lead the class, but it was Niall McShay and Michael Orr who set the fastest time in the category, nearly 6 seconds quicker than Loeb. More importantly, a second faster than Dallavilla's Fiat. The gap between the pair was now 11.7 seconds, with only those 2 stages left. This, though, was how the head of the leaderboard looked after stage 15. Peugeot now held a 1-2, but the man in third place was happy enough.
As the cars regrouped before service, things looked good for Ericsson, Schwartz and Alistair McRae. However, McRae worked harder to maintain his position. A windscreen wiper failure forced he and David Senior to use a disconnected intercom cable to manually operate the wipers from inside the car.
The windscreen wiper link just seized, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 Ks in at the first stage, so conditions were bad enough without that.
So what exactly have you done? I mean, we can see a little bit of loose wire here.
Just got one of the wiper arms free and then just some wire in from either side just to try and clean it a bit, but it's still not very good.
How have you been doing it, sort of hand to hand, pulling them backwards and forwards?
Yeah.
So an engineering background always helps.
Something like that.
It's been very good. We struggled a little bit on the first day by having not the full diff support on the front, but since then everything was going very well. We had very good gravel crew information. We took always the right tires, and we haven't done any mistakes so far. So let's try to get it to the finish like that.
You had problems with your wipers as well?
Yeah, it stopped in the same stage as Alistair, you know, but we managed to repair it for us on the last one, and it was okay.
It's not what you want to happen on a day like today. I mean, if it's dry and you're on safari, say, it doesn't matter so much, but you don't want the windscreen wipers to go on a wet Welsh morning.
Not in this country, in this time of the year. you would like to have the wiper and all the fans working now, but it's okay now. But it was a pity. I lost a lot to 22 seconds to Armin, and he's a bit too much ahead, but still it is 2 stages to go. So
you're just looking to finish where you are now?
No, I must catch him, you know. That's otherwise we can't. They are in front of us in the manufacturer championship, you know. And 35 seconds, 2 stages. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult.
But Burns wasn't worried about catching anyone. The world champion-elect was satisfied to hold station, maintain focus and concentrate in the wet and demanding conditions the Welsh forest and rain were throwing up.
It actually isn't bad grip. The only thing is you get a few ruts which fill with a lot of water, a lot of standing water. But the grip level itself actually isn't too bad on the hard road.
Stage 16 and the second run of the day through Riola. The weather hadn't improved, but with this second running, the stage was now cleaner and faster for the first car through, rally leader Marcus Gronholm. Even with nearly 2 minutes lead, the Finn just couldn't get out of the habit of setting the fastest stage times, his 10th from 15. Didier Auriol was back up to speed and second fastest as he renewed his chase of Ericsson. But the Swede wasn't going to give up the place without a fight, and he was 4th fastest, only 9 seconds slower, to lead the gap at 25 seconds with only 1 stage to go. Splitting the two was Armin Schwartz, who seemed to be revelling in the worsening conditions and enjoying his run towards 5th with the 3rd fastest time. Behind the top 4 came those already in cruise mode. Harry Rovanpera was 5th fastest, while Richard Burns was 6th. The hardest thing now, keeping going, driving at just 80%, hearing every noise in the car like a hammer blow beneath him. Alistair McRae could see properly now, but he still eased up through the stage. He was 7th fastest. While Toshi Arai was finally thinking he might finish the Rally of Great Britain after 2 previous retirements. 11th fastest overall was David Higgins with a time that moved him into a 0.7 of a second lead in the Production Cup, but Niall McShay fell a further 12 seconds behind Della Villa to remain 3rd in the Super 1600s.
And so to stage 17, the second run through what's become the traditional final stage of the event, Margam, which has seen more than its fair share of dramas over the years. The rain had eased a little, but conditions were still far from pleasant. Didier Auriol was part of a Peugeot hat-trick on the stage. Second fastest, he ends his association with the team on an uncertain note. At present, he still has no drive for next year. Kenneth Eriksson headed off Auriol's challenge to finish 6th. He heads for Skoda for 2002, but probably without co-driver Staffan Pamander. 5th would be Armin Schwartz, who changes places with Eriksson next year. The Skoda Octavia was the best non-Peugeot through Margam, 4th fastest. Alistair McRae and David Senior finished 4th, equalling their result on the 1995 event. They head for Mitsubishi next year, after 2 seasons of developing the Hyundai Accent World Rally car.
Easy minus into turn hairpin left.
Behind the World Championship teams, there were other battles to resolve. In Group N, Ramon Ferreros just lost out in the most closely fought class on the entire event. Just 2.8 seconds split first and second at the finish. And to the delight of the local fans, it was David Higgins who took the honours in his Subaru, a fitting end to a brilliant drive. In Super 1600, another battle ended with British success. The engine in Andrea Dalla Villa's Punto gave up the ghost on the last stage, allowing Niall McShay's Saxo to finish second. The Junior World Championship, as it's to be known next year, has already been won by Sebastian Loeb, who also claimed victory on the Network Q. Look out next year. 1-2 for Citroën in Super 1600, and a similar result for their sister company on the rally itself. Harry Rovanperä was 3rd fastest through Margam and 2nd overall, while Marcus Gronholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen took their 3rd win of the year, setting yet another fastest stage time in the process.
Nyppy vasen pitkä eri. No, oikein lyhyt. 120. Ja! Maali. Vähän eri fiilis kuin viime vuonna, mutta joo, tulipahan voitto. Stage is clear for Marcus.
But all the British eyes were on the car in 3rd place. Peugeot may have won the Manufacturers' Championship, but the Drivers' title has eluded Richard Burns for the past couple of years, and so victory this season was particularly sweet.
Tight and slippy, stone out, 80. Crest, 60. Crest 30, flat left tightens to flat left in, 40, flat right, 150,
Well done, mate. You're the best in the world!
At the end of the Margam stage, there were hugs of congratulation from Richard's girlfriend, Zoe Keane, David Williams, the man who'd recognised his potential all those years ago, and his dad. At service, meanwhile, the celebrations were more vocal.
Richard, it's a very emotional moment, I know. When do you honestly begin to think, I could be world champion?
I don't know. I mean, I've been trying for, we've been very, very close the last 3 years. It's been a very, very strange year this year. We had a terrible first half, and now the second half has just gone fantastically. There was a massive amount of pressure before this rally put on by myself, by everybody, of course. And to come through it like this, I mean, well, it's a shame we didn't win the rally, but after the first day, I really didn't mind. This was my sole aim.
I mean, I remember standing here with you last year and saying, congratulations on winning, commiserations on not being world champion.
Yeah.
This is what you do 14 rounds in 11 months of the year for.
Exactly. I mean, I was very disappointed not to win my own rally, but as I say, from that first day, then I had to change my focus completely and think about just this one thing.
Richard, congratulations, you've finally done it.
Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic feeling.
You said the other day it was a dream being in the position to be able to do it. Now you've done it. How does it feel?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was great coming into this rally. There was a massive amount of pressure and hype, and all of those things associated with trying to win a world championship. And to get out at the end of 3 days and to be at the top, it's the best feeling.
Tell us about Margam. What was it like when you drove in?
Well, there were a few of my close friends there, a few of my family, and just the relief. It's gone off in your pocket
already.
Hey, Richard. The relief was awesome.
This is the culmination of how many years' work? It's a culmination of
a lot. Like, I don't know.
I mean, your mum's here, your grand Denise. What's this mean to you? Amazing scenes.
One of the best days of my life, I tell you. Culmination of a dream come true.
You must be very proud of your boy.
Oh, he's wonderful.
It's a great feeling, and it's really strange because it's a mixture between elation and just relief. It's been quite tense the last few days, and almost once Colin went out, all we could do was make a mistake and lose it. So we managed not to, and it's a really great feeling.
Great rally, strategically. I mean, you did everything right, and besides that little hiccup with the spark plug leads, it all went to plan, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We had a couple of flutters. There was that, and then last night in service, she's going to leave. We had a small problem, but the guys are all under control, and we had the luxury of being able to control the pace a little bit, and here we are.
What was that like, having that reverse pressure on you? Instead of attacking, it was more like defensive pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah, in some ways it's worse. We said that in some ways you'd rather be attacking, but the stages have been quite difficult, and all the water and mud and everything. So, in some ways it's maybe a relief we weren't having to attack.
Must have been amazing driving into time control at Margam Park.
Yeah, it was. The whole way through the stage I was just telling myself that I had to concentrate on the stage and reading the notes, and then you come onto that last 200 metres straight and your world goes mad.
How long's this party going to go for?
A long time.
David, magnificent achievement. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thanks. It's just beginning to sink in.
A big sigh of relief?
Absolutely, yeah. That's been the longest 3 days and the longest 15 minutes that I can ever remember.
Thank you.
So now we finished this season with a championship. We think, well, what can we do next year? We've got a great platform to build on.
Be a little bit upset to see this young man leave the team?
Well, let's see. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Tonight's party night. Tomorrow we start.
Go and enjoy it.
Thank you.
And while Richard Burns' World Championship victory was the main story of the day, the efforts of Peugeot's Marcus Gronholm winning the Rally of Great Britain can't be forgotten. Marcus, congratulations.
Good. Thanks.
Interesting rally though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah, but anyway, easy for us. No problems with the car, nothing. It was nearly, yeah. Fantastic race.
After such a troublesome year, you must be very pleased and almost relieved to finish on such a high.
Yes, and yeah, after this season, so now the end of the season has been very good for us, so it's good to start next one.
Good double too, your victory in this last one in the Manufacturers' Championship?
Yeah, it's good, and I think the team is happy, and we are also, so nice.
And does it feel a little sad to be handing over your world crown?
No, of course, a little bit, yes, but okay. It's good like this now, and we look forward to next year.
Thoughts on Richard? Is he a deserving world champion?
I think so, yes, because he has been second now many years in row. So yeah.
Bring on 2002, huh?
Yes, I will take it back.
Harry, well done. A very good rally for you.
Yes, it's fantastic weekend anyway.
Tell us your thoughts on the whole year, not just this rally alone. It's been a very good year. You've shown that you're fast and consistent.
Yes, this year going well is because I not draw the full program, but first year with Peso is and quite close in the top also is very nice working with team and driving the best car in the world.
You played a major role too in getting Peugeot that Manufacturers' Championship.
Yes, I'm happy also with can do some important points.
Great for Peugeot too to get a 1-2.
That is a nice end on the season.
In the end, Gronholm's winning margin was some 2.5 minutes over teammate Robin Perra and Burns in third. Alistair McRae's best result this season in fourth, and with teammate Ericsson sixth, it was the only time this season both Hyundais were in the points. In the Drivers' Championship, the most notable change other than Burns at the top is Marcus Gronholm edging his way into fourth ahead of teammate Robin Perra on the amount of wins. In the Manufacturers' Championship for the second year, Peugeot clear winners, ahead of Ford, Mitsubishi, Subaru and Skoda edging out Hyundai. It's been a tough year for the outgoing world champion, but surely victory in this year's Network Q Rally of Great Britain serves as some kind of consolation for what's been a testing season for Peugeot's Marcus Gronholm. And standing on the podium in Cardiff is by no means something new for Richard Burns and Robert Reid. However, this year the rewards are far greater than in years gone by. The 3 times Rally of Great Britain winner didn't make it 4, but the satisfaction of having the title of world champion after his name means so much more. It's taken 6 years to get a second British world champion, and Richard Burns is now the first English World Rally champion in the history of the sport. So, party on, boys. It's been a long time coming. In the lead up to this event, everyone was expecting a dramatic rally. Mark James, Tiff, Needell, they certainly got one.
Unfortunately, probably most people will remember that accident on day 2. Who'd have thought Carlos Sainz would go off like that? But also on day 1, for both Tommy Mäkinen and Colin McRae to go out so early, I mean, took the shine off the rally, I think, for many people.
Tiff, your thoughts on Richard Burns' performance?
Well, obviously, as an Englishman, I'm delighted with the result, but I really think that over the years, you know, Richard Burns has deserved to join the ranks of world champions, and today was his day. Obviously, it is a shame that the event was soured by yesterday's happenings, and whether it's on a rally special stage or on a football stadium, we hate to see fans getting injured. It's something we must address for next year.
Mark, would you agree it was one of those weird events where we almost forgot about the leader?
Yeah, you can't help but feel sorry for Marcus Gronholm. He led from the moment that Colin McRae went out, and yet everyone's eyes were on Richard Burns and what he was going to do. Peugeot winning their Manufacturers' Championship for the second year running, almost forgotten.
Tiff, you'd have to say it's positive, it's good for the sport to have a new name at the top?
Yes, and to rub salt into Mr. Gronholm's wounds, of course, Richard Burns turns up at Peugeot next year and puts the #1 on his 206.
Well, thanks for some great work this weekend, guys. And you'd have to say, with that fine performance from Richard Burns in the 2001 Championship, he's certainly one of the main contenders for the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. And if you'd like to vote for any of your favourites, please call 0900 133 8899 or log on to our website bbc.co.uk/sport. Well, that's all from South Wales. It was a remarkable rally, a wonderful time. The World Rally Championship on the BBC. See you at the next stage.